It's now time for my top 5 movies of 2019. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a good one today. I'm the Movie Ranker, and today I'm going to be giving you my top 5 films from the year 2019. I'd say this is the last great year we had in cinema. So many good films. I could honestly give you a top 30 solid releases there, which is unheard of nowadays. I've seen quite a bit. I think I've seen close to 80 films from this year. So without wasting any more time, let's get into my top 5. Kicking things off at number 5, I have The Peanut Butter Falcon. What a weird title for this film, but this movie is just such a heartfelt adventure about this young adult who has Down syndrome, and he gets shoved in an old folks home where he doesn't belong. They have nowhere else for him. He escapes and goes on an adventure with Shia LaBeouf's character. He is this fisherman down on his luck, and he's on the run, and these two are strangers, end up meeting up and going on this adventure together, forming a really good bond, a genuine bond, and they become best friends by the end. This movie's quite the tearjerker at times. It can make you laugh, make you cry, and it's just so heartfelt and genuine. Our main lead, Zach, who has Down syndrome, just wants validation from the world, just wants to be treated like a normal human being and not like, like a patient or whatever, and yeah, the bond that him and Shia LaBeouf's character forms really gives him that sense of validation and sense of belonging. And it's just, like I said, so heartfelt. The ending has you on the edge of your seat, and it's definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen it. It's such a good little adventure drama. Up next, at number 4, I got Jojo Rabbit. This film was directed by Taika Waititi, however you say his name. The guy who made the new Thor Love and Thunder, Thor Ragnarok, What We Do in the Shadows. He's a very hit and miss director, but I feel like this is one of his huge hits. It's about a boy being brought up in Germany during the Nazi reign, and he's kind of brainwashed into thinking that, Nazis are the good guys, obviously. And he comes to find out that he has a Jewish girl hiding in the walls of his house, which his mother is protecting. His mother is part of the resistance, but he has no clue. He thinks that she is just like him and the rest of Germany. And it's really interesting because he sees her as a monster and a threat, and then as the movie progresses, he learns that Jewish people are just regular people like everybody else, and he starts to realize how everything he was taught and the values and that were all wrong. And it's just a really interesting take on the genre here. Scarlett Johansson plays his mom, and we get a really sad moment near the first where she gets caught being one of the head ones of the resistance and gets hung by the gallows right in the middle of town, and the little boy has to witness that, and the death of his mother hits him so hard, and then he starts helping the little girl in his house. It's just very heartfelt. It's funny when it needs to be, but it never cuts the tone like in Love and Thunder does. He knows how to balance the tone here. And it just really goes to show there's good in everybody, and some people are just brought up in the wrong place and basically being manipulated by these higher ups to make them think a certain way. And these are just kids, they're innocent, but you're trying to make them like these evil people. And weird enough, the little boy in this film has an imaginary friend, which is Hitler himself. And as the movie starts, that's like his idol, his like best friend. But as he starts learning the ways of the Nazis and how evil they are throughout the film, and how they should just treat everybody with respect and kindness, by the end he ends up turning on Hitler, his imaginary friend. So it's like him growing up and finally not being brainwashed anymore. Just a really clever film with heartfelt moments, really sincere moments. It's a good little spotlight on what the kids were going through being brought up in this Nazi regime, even though it is like a satire. It does have a lot of comedy to it, but it doesn't overtake the main message here, and I think this is an excellent friggin' movie. Up next, at number 3, I got The Perfection. This one can be found on Netflix. It released in 2018 in festivals and stuff, but only reached a wide audience on Netflix in 2019. That's why it's on this list. And this movie takes you for twists and turns you never expect. The first act plays out like this drama kind of about these two prodigies in classical music, and they play cello and coming together. One of them has been absent for the last 10 years, and these are like the two of the best of the best. The one who left for 10 years, you feel like she's jealous of the other one, and this goes down a really sinister path over the course of this movie. I can't really get into the plot details because if I do, I would spoil everything. But each act just keeps up in the ante, getting more bizarre, more crazy, more plot twists and reveals. You're never sure who to trust because what you think the people's intentions are at the starting of this film aren't at all what they are by the end. There's a lot of conniving, weird shit going on, and I love the way the story's told. We get to see everything play out, but there's pieces missing. And I think that's why it's so jarring when twists happen. And then it will go back and show you what happened in between that we didn't get to see. And I always like that style of storytelling. Really cool, really clever. I'm telling you, in this movie had me going WTF after watching it for the first time. I was like, how is this not more known? It's definitely a hidden gem on Netflix. They don't have that many great movies, but I think this is definitely one of them. And our two leads in here, Logan Browning and Allison Williams from Get Out and movies such as that, they both just shine so bright in this movie. Great lead performances. They're very believable, and like I said, they always have you guessing on their characters. What are they up to? And by the end, I was just completely satisfied on how things played out. And there's no way you're gonna guess the plot of this movie going in. It's very unpredictable, and I love it for that. Up next, at number 2, I got Doctor Sleep. This is the sequel to The Shining, Kubrick's Shining, but at the same time, it paid a great homage to the Stephen King novels too. They were able to please both worlds this time around. I really enjoyed this movie. It might even be better than The Shining, maybe. They're very neck and neck. I love both of those films, but yeah, this was just a great follow up. We got Ewan McGregor playing Danny as an adult this time, and I like how this movie expands on the mythology of The Shining, like what it means for people to shine. It's basically like everybody has it, but some people have it way more than others and can use it like special powers. Basically, like become superhero. They can manipulate people's brains and whatnot, telepathic stuff. And yeah, that's real interesting to me. I felt like it gave me a few answers I was looking for from The Shining too. It kind of wrapped up a few things there very nicely. And this one really deals with Danny's alcoholism and struggles at the starting of this film, which I think would make Stephen King very proud because that was like the whole point of The Shining in the first place, dealing with your demons, right? Your inner demons. And the ghost stuff was all just in the background, basically. But yeah, this one's just so good. We got a great friggin' villain in Rose the Hat and her whole cult, and how they're after people with the Shining and like sucking it out of them till they're dead so they can live longer and be more powerful. I thought it was almost like a vampire twist on that. I really loved that. Our main little girl in this, who is the most powerful person to ever shine before. She is just really fun to watch using her powers and that, and how she's just a kid and she's outsmarting these villains and just screwing with them. It always puts a big smile on my face, especially for a movie that's this long. I believe it's close to 3 hours long or so, and it just never feels dull. I admit the first act is a little slower because you're getting to know Danny and what he's going through and that, but as soon as it gets going, it just doesn't stop. Great and entertaining scenes throughout, and of course the ending when they go to the Overlook Hotel. It's just like, oh my god, that also put a big smile on my face. I'm like, they're going back. And yeah, great finale with all bring back all the ghosts and stuff, and we get some homages to the original. And yeah, just a great movie overall. I can't praise it enough. Like I said, this may be better than The Shining. It's really up there for me. Before I give you my number one pick, here's a few honorable mentions. Fighting with My Family, Ford v Ferrari, Brightburn. But for me, coming in the first place in 2019 had to be Avengers Endgame. The last real great MCU movie we gotten. I mean, I really enjoy a Volume 3 of Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man No Way Home, but this was on another level, and everything else that came after it didn't quite reach that level, so I think that's why a lot of people are checking out of the MCU nowadays. But yeah, Endgame just wrapped up this like 20-some movie saga perfectly. It dealt with so many characters, but it never wastes time fleshing them out and showing what they're up to. I just love everything about this. There's this very, very minor nitpicks I have with it. One being, I don't like what they did with the Hulk character, making him like a nerd Hulk. Kind of takes away from what the Hulk was, you know. He was supposed to be the big angry monster. But no, I don't like the whole direction they take him in the whole MCU, actually. And Captain Marvel, she comes and goes when she wants. She is so powerful, but she doesn't seem to be around when they need her. And she uses this lame excuse that there's other things to do out in the universe. It's a big place, but what they were dealing with had to do with all the universe, you know? So she really should have been there. But aside from that, those are small nitpicks of this like 3 hour and some long movie. And it is pretty much flawless besides that. We come off this very devastating ending in Infinity War, and they're also broken emotionally, and you really feel that on screen here, especially with the Thor character. A lot of people didn't like how he got fat, but that's all part of his process, his grief process and everything he was dealing with, how he knew he failed his mission. So I didn't mind that. I thought that was really good, and all the jokes that come with that were great as well. The whole time travel aspect was friggin' awesome because I'm a huge time travel fan, so that also helped this movie. I love how they're going back to different scenes from different installments in the MCU, and it's like, oh, I remember that. I remember that. I love those moments. They wrapped up Tony Stark's character and as Iron Man and Captain America's character so nicely. Like, you couldn't done that any better. Having Steve Rogers go back and spend his days with Peggy after fixing the Infinity Stones, putting them back, and Tony Stark, you know, yes, he died, but he did it in a brilliant way, and he was really like a father figure to Spider-Man, and you really seen that. It was really emotional by the end in that part, and they just did a fantastic job wrapping up this big story. Like I said, I have very small nitpicks, but this is still almost a flawless film considering its runtime and entertainment value. And that whole end battle is one of the greatest battles of all time in cinema. Bringing everybody in to battle Thanos and his army is just so friggin' awesome. I didn't think they could top it from the ending of Infinity War when they're fighting in Wakanda, but they did top it here. It gives you chills down your spine when you're seeing them walk through the portals, especially when you see Captain America pick up Thor's hammer. You're like, he can do it. You all always knew he could, but yeah, just such a great way to wrap everything up. One of the best MCU installments, definitely top 5, maybe top 3 for me. But yeah, it's just so damn good, and it's something we'll never see again, possibly, or never see in a long time, because the way the MCU is going, it's not doing so hot. But yeah, this is my favorite movie from 2019, so it comes into first place. There you have it, guys. There's my top 5 movies of 2019. I hope you enjoyed it, with a few honorable mentions. And like I said, my top 30 are all solid releases this year. Such a strong year. I'll name off a few more. Child's Play remake, Triple Frontier, another Netflix movie, Rainbow Last Blood, Stuber, the comedy, Ready or Not, Parasite. I enjoyed Shazam, Hobbs and Shaw, Joker, Toy Story 4, Zombieland 2, Aladdin remake. There's just so much good here, and like all those movies are 4 stars or higher for me. So it's just an incredible year. Haven't seen a year like that for a long time. And I'll be back, guys, with 2018 as soon as I get around to it. Look at my list, see if I need to watch any more movies or not. You're open to drop your favorite 2019 movies in the comments here, and maybe let me know some movies I should check out in 2018, since I'll be doing that one next. Follow me on Letterboxd, Instagram, all the good stuff. Links in the description of this video. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching.